There are several principles that govern my life and discipline me. Because to be successful and to be at peace with self requires two major things, I feel. And one is discipline, and two is commitment to the discipline. Those are elements that you can't go out and rent or buy or borrow. It has to come with inside. It's like training for a marathon. It's commitment and it's discipline to do it. It's like losing weight, commitment and discipline to do it, and stay with the program. Stay the course, irrespective of the outcome. It's the accomplishment, again, that takes you there, that makes it so beneficial. So what's one of the real principles for me, as I mentioned? Number one is my relationship. Number two is I treat every human being as I would want them to treat me. Good, bad, or indifference. If I'm in a business deal and maybe it's not going exactly the way I'd like it to go, I still hold that ideal. I treat that person as though I want them to treat me the same way. It doesn't always work out that way, but at the end of the day, I can hold myself proud, and I can look in the mirror and I can have gratitude inside that I did everything in my power to do what was right. Number three, honesty in everything I do. What I say, what I share, even though some things may not be 100% accurate because of information that I have, and I articulate it and find out that guess what? I was told incorrectly. But what I shared from my heart, believing it was absolutely real and absolutely true. We go through that all the time, just like little children believing there's a Santa Claus and telling our friends. It's life. But I hold ideal to those three principles. Number one is my relationship with God, the Creator. Number two, commitment and discipline to my purpose. Three, honesty and dealing with everyone as though I want them to deal with me the same. And integrity and honesty to me is one and the same.
Excellent. Well, the most important thing to me is doing your best. Always doing the best you can. And never forget who's the most important. If you have a godly foundation, if God is your foundation, then it's based on godly principles. And that's doing what's right. Well, what's right? Well, serving your fellow man, being honest, being forthright, doing your best. I like seeing everything come together. I like seeing it happen. When I start something, I like to see it finished. And when I get on something, I don't get off it until it's done. If you determine that you're going to do something, if you set your goal to do something, then determine how you're going to do it and do it. And don't let anything get in your way. And don't ever use the word can't. That's a no-no word with Gary. We've all learned the hard way. Oh, Gary, I just can't do this. What? Don't tell me you can't do it. Just figure out how you're going to do it. That's how we've all learned. But one thing I have seen with this man, when he tells you he's going to do something, it always comes to fruition. Always. I have never not seen him do what he said he was going to do. And I remember when he was going to open a clinic, and he started talking about it like 3 years beforehand, and he'd stand on stage and talk about it, and we'd get home. I said, Gary, why do you talk about that? Why do you say things like that? You know we're not going to do it. He said, Mary, I'm putting it out there because it is going to happen. I said, okay. He's putting the energy out. He's creating it. He's creating it in thought. Well, thought comes before action. You have to have the thought. He's absolutely right. But I have seen it over and over and over. I have never not seen it work. Never not seen it work.
When I interview people, and last weekend when I was home, I interviewed another gentleman for the VP of Operations. He was talented, knowledgeable. I believe he had an MBA in business. He had a pretty colorful background in operations. I believe he had the ability to do it, to do the job. But I've said this before, and I'll just share it with you. I have a lot of people come and give me resumes. All of my executives came with resumes. I looked at their resume, I flipped through it, and I put it away. Anyone can put anything on a piece of paper, and anyone can create a resume that you'd be so impressed with you wouldn't even say no. But when I'm hiring, that's not the criteria for me making a decision. The criteria that I weigh my decision on is the spirit that comes from the individual's heart and their ability to see the vision that I project. And number 3, if they want to grow the vision or steal the vision.
It's almost a feeling that you have about someone. When you talk to someone, when you meet someone, you either click or you don't click. You see eye to eye on things. You think the same way. You know, someone who's aggressively overbearing is not going to fit with us. Someone who has an arrogant personality will never fit here. Someone who has a know-it-all personality will never fit here. The people that we are blessed to have with us in this business are dedicated, hardworking, very dedicated to doing the right thing. Integrity is utmost important. Honesty, great communication, and love to just have fun together. And they do. They have a lot of fun together. A lot of laughter. We have one gentleman here that we know he's in the office because everybody's laughing. It's just his personality. He's just so exuberant about everything. But they all love each other. They all enjoy being together. They all enjoy solving the problem together. You know, I have a little problem that I'm trying to help someone with. And my response on the phone last night was, well, I'll have to go in and check with Sean and see what he says. So I go in and I check with Sean, and he says, well, let me look at it. Let me see what you've written, and we'll talk about it. But whatever you do, don't do anything without telling me. I said, don't worry, I won't. You know, those are the kinds of conversations that go on. Everybody cares. Everybody wants to be on the same page. Nobody likes surprises. And what I found is that decisions aren't made unless everyone's in agreement. No one person goes out and makes decisions without consulting with the rest of the team. And if it's not a good idea, they also have the security to speak their mind. They're all very secure people. And, you know, working with someone like Gary, who is so multitasked and who is so visionary and who is so driven to make things happen, demands a lot of support, help, understanding, and being able to talk and discuss how we go about doing the things that he wants to do. What is the best way to accomplish it? And that's what they all do together. It's just fabulous to see everybody in action together.
My executive team and Mary and I really feel function as one unit. Mary is a real balancing factor for me, because I do get caught up in my visions and my dreams and my ideals of how I feel things should be. And she's often reminding me, as she says, Gary, that's not reality. But you know, when people say that, this is the space I go in. What is your reality? Because what one's individual's reality is not necessary another, nor should that person put their reality upon another person. Because it's like a first-year college student, his reality is getting started in college, but the graduate up here has a different reality. So does that make this student wrong, who's a first year, or the four-year student wrong? Neither one. Their realities are totally different. It's the same in visions and ideals of business. Everyone, based on their experience, their life path, their reality will be different. What is a challenge is, can others that maybe haven't been on that life path look at this individual's reality and say, wow, I can understand that, I can see that, or say, no, that's not reality. And that's what I've experienced through my life, is people saying, that's not reality. My team now, when I sit down and I tell them, we're going to do this, like when I came back from Somalia and I said, we're going to build a school and a medical clinic in Somalia, they didn't say, Gary, that's not a reality. What they said is, isn't that dangerous? And I said, compared to what? My reality is it's not dangerous. I'm the one that journeyed there. I'm the one that came back from there. I have a different reality than their reality, that their perception of their reality comes from what they heard and listened to on the news channel. So where does the real reality fit in? But they didn't say it's not reality. They just said, Gary, do you really think we can do it? And I said, yes, we can do it, and we've done it. So it's because not everyone can see through the same eyes. But what makes a team is when a team can say, you know, I don't see your reality yet, but if you can help me see it, I'm willing to look until I do. And I'm willing to support you until I see a reason not to.
The big laugh with everybody is that Gary's the visionary and Mary's the practical one. She's the realist. And many times he says, oh, Mary, don't rain on my parade. Because he's so out there. You know, nobody has vision like he does. It's amazing. And once he has the vision, once he can see it, for him it's already done, and the rest of us are trying to figure out how to do it. It's amazing. This man is amazing. I share so much with him, and I get excited about the vision and ideas that he has. And I can see where he's going with things. And sometimes I'll say, that's fabulous. When are you going to put it into effect? How do you see this happening? What do you need me to do? And sometimes I say, well, Gary, why don't you just wait and finish what you're doing and then put that into effect? But his biggest problem, his number one complaint, is that he can't shut his mind down at night. He can't sleep because the wheels just turn and turn and turn. And he can be out there on the D8 moving dirt, thinking about how he's going to build a distillery in Croatia, or what he's going to do in Peru, or how he's going to get from here to here. He doesn't calculate going from Utah to Singapore. He only calculates being in Utah and being in Singapore. And the time in between is wasted time, so he doesn't put that into the equation of how long it's going to take to get there. Until we actually say, Gary, it's going to take you 20 hours to get there. You have to leave on this day because it's going to take you that long to get there. He says, oh yeah, you're right. You know, those are the kinds of things we help him with. Oh my goodness, he's fabulous. Oh, it's a dream to watch him in action. I watch him draw blueprints. I watch him go through books and books and books and books. I watch him do research. I watch him study. I watch him analyze. I'm fascinated how his mind works. I don't know anybody like him. It's fabulous to watch. Sometimes he gets so much, you know, you go, hey, wait a minute, slow down, wait for me.
Let me catch up. So
Yeah. Hey, we all say that here in the office. Hey, Gary, let us catch up.